Hello guys. In this session, I'm going to explain about IDR region. So IDR region is basically known as identification region, which is available on top of your application. So here you specify a little minimum of information about what is your application is all about. So this IDR region is only available in object instance floor plan and guided activity floor plan. Right. Now, this idea region is divided into three sections. One is the header section, then the other one is the ticket area, and third one is the items area, like the one that you see on the screen. Now, this header area is going to display you the application title. So this comes from something called as IDR basics. So with this IDR basics, you will be able to only provide the header application title. So and the other things that you see here in the ticket area, it has consist of two things. One is ticket top and another one is ticket bottom. So this is going to narrowly specify what your application is all about. So the top one you see in the bold letter is a ticket top, and the bottom one you're seeing is a ticket bottom. So these are the only two things that you can display it in the ticket area, and this is kind of a static. That means you can only specify one values, ticket area and ticket bottom, and you cannot add anything further than that. Whereas this item area is kind of a dynamic one. So the header area and the ticket area, you can populate it directly at the time of configuring the application itself. Whereas the item area, it's a combination of key value pair, by which I mean the key value pair is we are also going to specify the key, and we are also going to specify what is the value in the internal table, and then I'm going to pass it on over here. So how many number of entries that I'm going to pass it on over here, that many number of entries are going to be displayed on here on the item area. Now this ticket area and the item area, they comes from something called as IDR extended. So this IDR extended region is available only in the object instance floor plan, whereas it is not available in the guided activity floor plan. So the IDR region is divided into two. One is the IDR basics, then another one is the IDR extended. So the IDR basic, it's going to contain the title, and the IDR extended is going to contain the ticket area and the item area. So now let's go ahead and configure the idea region, and I'm going to configure it in the OAF application which I have shown you for the OAF demo. So I have opened this application and select the IDR usage and enter the name for the configuration. CWDA. So I have specified the name for the IDR region. Now click on go to component configuration. Click on create to create the configuration and specify the suitable description. Right. So if you see here, the idea region, it's going to basically show you only the basic region. And if you select the basic region, what it is going to show you, what is the application title that you wanted to have. The application that title that I wanted to have is my application title. So that I have specified over here, and I have clicked on save. Now in the object instance floor plan, you will be able to see an additional button called add idea extended, whereas you won't be able to see it in the guided activity floor plan. So here you can basically specify two things like I have shown you. One is the ticket top and another one is ticket bottom. Ticket top and another one is going to be the ticket bottom. So let me just specify ticket top and bottom. You can specify the tooltip if you wanted. Sorry, this is going to be the bottom, right? So I have just specified the region and we have clicked on save. Now I'm also going to show you how to add the item details. So in order to add the item details, I have to do it programmatically and I have to pass the value on to this information. So what I have done is I have written my coding in the component controller of the first component which we have design zwd c underscore fpm1. In that particular component, in the do init method, I have written my logic. So what is the logic that I have basically written is the first thing that I wanted to so the first thing that I wanted to do always is to get the reference of the FPM instance. And how do I get it? I get it using the factory class, which is cl underscore fpm underscore factory, and I get the instance of the fpm, which is singleton. Then after that, I wanted to get the reference of this IDR region, which is going to be basically an interface if underscore fpm underscore IDR. I will show about that interface after a while. Now, in order to get that interface, I'm going to call a method called get service, and I'm requesting for the IDR service. So this is going. So the FPM is going to return me the IDR service. Then after that, I had to call the method add item group by value. So let's take a look at this if underscore fpm underscore idr method. This has a method called add item group value. So this is the method that I'm going to use to add values to the item. And if in case if you wanted to change any values, you can use the method change item group by value. So to add this item group by value, we need to pass the items which is of type this. So I have taken the type declaration and I have created my own type declaration over here, which is nothing but the label name value which we wanted to pass, and apart from that other things are tooltips. So I have populated what are the items that I wanted to display it on the screen. Then I using the reference of the IDR, I'm calling the method add item group by value, and I'm passing the values, and I'm just importing the keys. So we are not going to use it. So in case if you don't want, you don't have to import this. So this is what we have basically done. So what happens? So when the application is getting executed, it gets the instance of FPM. Then using that instance, it gets the instance of IDR. Then it populates the items and it is going to display it over here. So these are all not the action that you can do with the IDR. There is actually more you can do with this. Now I have shown you in the configuration itself, I have added the ticket top, ticket bottom, application title and other things. Say for example, if what if you wanted to add all of this information dynamically at runtime. So if you go to this if underscore fpm underscore idr method, you have this method called set application title, using which you can set the application title whatever you wanted in the runtime, and you can also change it. So whatever the value you're going to set through this method, that is going to be the current application title. In a similar way, you can also play around with hiding this visibility of this ticket area and the item area. You can either set this visibility as a, to be displayed, or you can hide them. So to do that, you have two methods called set ticket visibility and set items visibility. Using that, you will be able to do that. In a similar way, you also have method to get the information on this get ticket and set ticket. Then also there is a getter method for getting the application title. And apart from that, in most of the application in a standard, if you see, you will be having some kind of links over here which is also going to trigger some FPM event. Suppose in case if you wanted to do that, if you wanted to trigger that, then you can go ahead and there is a method called set action link. So you just have to call this method and you have to specify what is the text that you wanted to display as a link to action, then what is it visibility, whether the link has to be enabled or not, then the FPM event ID, what is the FPM event that should get triggered when I click on that link button. So these are some of the methods that are available over here. So you can also add image and you can also change them. So I would request you to just explore some of this option with this method, and then you can build a better idea region. So we are done with configuring the idea region. So let's go ahead and test the application. So I'm going back to the application configuration, and from there I'm launching my application URL. So this is basically going to stop in the debugger of the do init method. So what it is going to do, it's going to get the factory instance and the IDR region, IDR instance. Then I have populated the values, quite few item values. Then I have added it onto the screen. So user direwolf and his last login time was yesterday. So you will now be able to see the ticket top and ticket bottom, which we have configured statically in the configuration. Then the user item values, so that we have written using codings. And in case if you wanted to change this application title or ticket or bottom or even this item value dynamically at runtime, then you can just explore the options in the interface if underscore fpm underscore idr. So the functionality within that method is limited to use. You can use only those functionalities for configuring this idr. So in the next tutorial I will be catching up catching up you guys with how to display messages in fpm. Thank you. See you again.